Hey guys! Wednesday, May 25th today. Finished all the corn on last week Friday. And then we were about to start beans on Saturday, but ended up getting about ½ inch of rain in 5 minutes on Saturday, so that put us out of luck for that. But we do have a sandy farm we worked away at the beginning of this week, and it's quite a ways away from here, and they didn't get as much rain there. So we got 80 acres of beans in there, but we still got 250 acres of soybeans to plant and 100 acres of white beans to go still. So I checked the fields around here last night when we got back from that other farm, and they were a little bit tacky still, so I'm not sure if they're gonna go today. We'll have to see. We had to ship a bunch of pigs this morning, so we were busy sorting and shipping those. Now I'm gonna head through the sow barn quick, and then I'm not sure where this video will go. If there's some field that's ready to work, we might be high-speed disking or cultivating. We also have to fix those wheel bearings on the cultivator. I showed you that in another video, the two wheel bearings on the main frame of the cultivator. I don't know what happened, but they both went at the same time, so we'll have to fix that before we can do any cultivating. So we'll see what happens. They're talking rain tomorrow too, I think another ½ inch or more. But there's still some puddles in the yard here. I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't know, we'll have to see if anything's ready to go today. It sure would be nice if it was. Dad's probably gonna spray those beans that we planted yesterday. It's nice to get a rain right after you spray to activate the herbicide that we're spraying. So we also got to spray a whole bunch of corn. It's coming up. All that strip till corn is pretty dirty with weeds and stuff because there was no tillage taking anything out. So lots of spraying to do, but yeah, we'll see where the day takes us. So while I've been busy in the field, Gus, Lucas, and Anthony, we got a new guy named Anthony. I've been working away in the weaner rooms, ripping all this equipment apart. So they got all the penning out and the feeders out, heat exchangers ripped out, and they even started ripping out some flooring and putting in the cement slats that the breeding stalls are gonna go on. So I don't know if you remember that thing. If you saw any of the videos from last year when we did the renovation in the finishing barn, that's the same slat cart. That's the Widowmaker. Got to be careful with that thing. But yeah, so work's getting done in here too. It'll be nice when we get the field work wrapped up, then we can really focus on the barn renovation kind of stuff and moving these slats over to the new weaner barns because we're going to reuse all this stuff. But yeah, that's what's going on in here. So, pretty easy to feed pigs nowadays. This chain disc system is just a big loop, and the feed comes out of the bin and drops in the chain disc, and it just drops in these pipes and fills them up, and the sows can eat as much as they want. So we still say we go and feed the sows, but really all we're doing is flipping a switch and watching the machinery do all the work. So these guys will be in here for another 2 weeks before there's enough room in the finishing barn for them, and then when they leave, we'll work at ripping all this equipment out too. So Gus is back from the finishing barn where we bred those gilts in. He was doing chores there this morning, and they were ultrasounding them, and we had like a 94% conception rate, which is way better than what we were expecting. So we have 191 pregnant gilts in that group and 171 farrowing crates. So that's a bit of a problem. We have too many that are gonna farrow. But there might be some more that drop out and lose their pregnancy. It's still pretty early, so we'll see. But that's an excellent conception rate. So we're probably gonna lower our breeding target from 200, 205 down to 190 because things are going pretty well in that finishing barn. So So yeah, now that they're back, they're gonna finish up chores. So now I'm gonna put my cash cropper hat on and work away outside. So they called from the dealership and I guess the bearings are in for that cultivator, so I gotta run to town and get those. So just had a little powwow with Dad there and came up with a bit of a game plan. We're gonna wait till tomorrow to work on that cultivator because it's supposed to be raining anyway. The disked fields might be ready later today, but I'm gonna go get the fertilizer spreader, hook it on this tractor, spread fertilizer for a few hours. Then I'll try disking again and see if it's dry enough. And Dad's gonna go spray those beans on the sandy farm. So we covered 180 acres of ground that's going into soybeans with manure already, so that doesn't need any fertilizer. But we have a 70-acre farm that needs fertilizer. So we're putting on 250 pounds of half and half MAP and potash. Fertilizer prices are pretty ridiculously high right now, so that manure has a lot of value. That's one big benefit of being a livestock guy right now, is you can save on those fertilizer costs. But we don't have quite enough to cover all of our ground, so we're still stuck spending some money on fertilizer. All loaded up with gold, I mean fertilizer, head to the field. Didn't all fit on one spreader load, so I got half the field done. Now there are tender trucks here, gonna refill me up and we can do the second half. The field we're in now is high-speed disked. We did it once in the fall, as deep as we could go, which I think was about 4 or 5 inches. Then we're going to go over it again in the spring here with the disc, just to try and level it out a bit more and bury and mix up a bit more of those corn stalks. So probably like 2 inches deep or so. So a good chunk of our beans are high-speed disc like this, and a good chunk are moldboard plowed. We'll work them with the cultivator and then plant into that. We didn't do a strip till trial like we did last year. Some people were asking how that trial worked out. We did last year where we compared soybeans on high-speed disc ground versus strip tilled ground. And the high-speed disc stuff was 81 bushels an acre. The strip till was 75. That's just one trial. Probably should replicate it more. It's hard to believe there'd be much of a difference, but that's what the side-by-side said. So we just never got around to strip tilling any corn stalks last year, and it's a pretty big pain to go back and plant it twice with the planter set on 30-inch rows. So no trials this year. It's been drizzling on and off all afternoon, and now it's getting a little more serious about it. See what happens. Calling for an inch of rain now tomorrow, so I don't know. This is that pickle where the field's just about dry enough, but not quite. But it's gonna rain tomorrow. I'm heading back home now. Gonna eat supper with the family, do night chores, get the mill going again. I'll see what the weather's doing, see if it's worth bringing the disc to the field. to give it a shot or not. Well, I'm giving this disc a whirl. Plenty of dust, and it looks pretty good from the tractor cab, but let's get out at the end here and have a look. Yeah. That's a little muddy. There's more trash than I'd like to see still in this field from last fall's disking. There was kind of all these little piles laying around, and under those piles it's pretty muddy. So I'm thinking this would work a lot better with a chopping corn head, and then you wouldn't get as many of those piles, but we don't have a chopping corn head, so here we are. Guess we'll have to make this decision on our own. Yeah, I'm disking here, and it's pretty good, but then there's the spots where there's pile and it's just complete mud underneath. I've gone up and down the field like 4 times now, and it looks like 98% good, but then there's these spots that are just total mud. It said tomorrow evening 10 millimeters and tomorrow overnight 10 millimeters. So yeah, I'll keep going, and maybe going over it twice would hack all the corn stalks up a bit more. Okay. Well, this won't take me very long because I can go 12 miles an hour, so. Okay. See ya. Well, we got the approval from upper management to go over it lightly and try and spread out all these stalks, and then maybe we'll go over it again in the morning, maybe a little bit deeper. Well, it really doesn't look that bad once I've been going up and down for a while. I'm not seeing many of those wet spots at all anymore. So I was still on the headlands there where the drag hose turned around, and they always put a bit more manure on there. I don't know if that had something to do with that, but it looks pretty good. Looks really good, actually. So I think we're just gonna do this once, go over it once, and then we'll come in here with the planter tomorrow and start planting. So I'm going 12 miles an hour. It says here we're getting 24.5 acres an hour done. So you really get her done with this thing. Well, that's it for this field. So that field's good to go for tomorrow. Dad's gonna start spraying first thing. I'm gonna do chores quick, and then we still gotta pick up the seed for that field because it's a different variety than the last field. So bring that to the co-op, get filled up, come back, start planting. Lucas is gonna start working up the next field with the disc there. So we'll see how much we can get done before that rain tomorrow. Thanks for watching.